that's the job. It's okay. So
Right.
that's okay. Yeah. So and what would gluten do basically? Gluten would flatten those villi down. They flatten them down. They glue them together. Absorption of the food does not happen when villi are not functioning, and that's where like the problems start in digestive system. Bloating, gas, pain, absorption, diarrhea, constipation, all of those things start. It limits the microbiome. It destroys the microbiome. That's on the first place, and then flatten those villi. So having like being wise what kind of food you put in your system is very important. Putting the fiber in your system is very important. Getting healthy fats in your system is very important. Our brain is what, 100% fat? No, 70, 75%, 80% fat, right? So we cannot think, our brain cannot think without fat. So people go fat-free or anything like that. That is such a wrong assumption to have. You got to get healthy fats, not like canola oil, not seed oils. Those are the oils that destroy microbiome in the first place and affect entire our body. Healthy oils, olive oil, coconut oil, tallow, omegas from your fish, wild fish, not from, all of those things do feed the microbiome. That's how you build strong digestive system. And it starts, like Catherine said, in your mouth. Longer you chew your food, the more signals goes to the brain saying that the food is coming, and the stomach starts releasing hydrochloric acid. So longer you chew your food, more hydrochloric acid your stomach is going to release. And more hydrochloric acid, which is stomach juice, that breaks down the food, digests the food, breaks down, send it down to duodenum and there to small intestine. And more enzymes get released from there. If you don't have a strong hydrochloric acid stomach juice, the food doesn't break down properly. The big pieces goes into the digestive system, and they don't have, especially proteins. It takes a while to break them. So yes. when you take a big piece, when stomach cannot break down big pieces, if you chew and swallow big pieces instead of chewing properly and swallowing small pieces, helping the stomach to kind of process it better. Those pieces does not get break down. They start basically rotting in the small intestine and start create and bad bacteria start growing, candida start growing, yeast start growing, all of those things, and then people start getting IBS, IBDs, leaky gut, celiac disease. All of those things is like effect of like the way we chew our food. Keeping your digestive system is not a hard thing to do. It's a very simple thing to do. It's just be mindful when you eat, because when you eat with your mindfulness, like, a lot of people do pray before they eat for like about, what does it take, 30 seconds or so? That actually, the science showed that praying or just looking at your food and thanking the universe for having the food on the table, that 30 seconds, the eyes get the food, seeing the food and sending the signal to our brain that the food is coming, and the body starts releasing the juice, hydrochloric acid. That is such a big impact on our body, not just sitting and just like fast, especially when it comes like females do that, moms do that because they don't have time, they have to prepare the kids and stuff. They eat without, sitting down even at the table. They eat, they grab here, they grab there. I was one of them. I wouldn't hide. I did that while my kids were little. But I just want to say it is so important to pay attention to those little things in your life, like paying attention what kind of food you eat, paying attention how you eat your food. Be grateful for the food you have, and chew your food. Chewing your food, those little things would make a big, enormous change in your body. So it's not that hard to rebuild your digestive system. You don't have to go jump and get like more expensive probiotics out there, or try to figure it out what kind of probiotic. Actually, there's a lot of research now around probiotics. A lot of them doesn't even work because people are getting a wrong strength of probiotics. So you have to know the best probiotic for your digestive system is your fiber, your fermented foods such as sauerkraut, like Catherine said, fermented vegetables. Those are the best probiotic foods. But the number one is your fiber. Get your fiber in, chew your fiber well, eat your fiber first. Before any meal, before you start your main meal, main course, eat your fiber first, your salad, your grains, chew them well, because they're going to create the coating inside the lining of your small intestine for preventing carbohydrates to get absorbed into your bloodstream fast. When you eat carbohydrate first, it goes into the bloodstream and it spikes the blood sugar. But when you eat the fiber first, carbohydrate is not going to absorb in the bloodstream fast. It will have a bacteria that is ready to break down that carbohydrates. So absorption carbs into the bloodstream, it's not going to happen fast, and it's not going to spike your blood sugar. So respect your microbiome. Like, be cautious. Be grateful for your microbiome because they are keeping us alive, and take care of them. Those are the things that I could say when it comes to digestive system and microbiome. And like Catherine said, drink water. Do not drink water when you eat during your meals. You don't want to dilute your hydrochloric acid. You want to have a good hydrochloric acid to break down the food inside of your digestive system, inside your stomach. Drink water half an hour before your meals or hour to hour and a half after your meals. You can sip 1 or 2 sips of water if you're very thirsty, but do not drink a lot of water during your meals. Let body do its own job. Just support it. So to increase your hydrochloric acid, you can put a pinch of sea salt on your tongue before, like 10-15 minutes before meal. That would help to increase your hydrochloric acid also. So that's what I could say. I don't know if anyone has a question. This is what comes to my mind right now. So
that was great. And something else, Maya, that I know that you mentioned in your video this week. You were showing some of the shakes you were making, and actually, I just wanted to comment because somebody asked me a question just now, and I want to tie it into your shakes. Okay.
Okay.
And the question is Catherine, you recommended turmeric for pain management. It's actually as an anti-inflammatory to help with my pain, yes. And they said, should that be as a supplement, capsule, seasoning, or raw root? And I can tell you, sometimes I use it as a seasoning, but you know what? When I am doing my shakes, because I absolutely love juicing. And so if I'm not having my yogurt and fruit, I love to juice. And though my juicing, I will often put raw root turmeric in there because it really is a rich anti-inflammatory as well as the antioxidant properties that come with it. So, Jade, did that answer your question? But if you want to take 2 seconds, Maya, and tell them what that shake that you had today or yesterday on the net. I just thought it was wonderful, that juicing recipe.
Yeah, that's basically I called anti-cancer because everything in that smoothie is basically to prevent cancer cells to grow, to prevent cancer to get into the body. So turmeric is, like Catherine said, it's a great anti-inflammatory. It's been studied over 20,000. There's over 20,000 studies on turmeric. So you cannot overdose on turmeric. So do not be afraid of taking too much turmeric. That's number one. A lot of people say, how much can I take? There was a times when I was taking 10 capsules a day beside putting in my food. I always use turmeric in my food. There's no food that doesn't go without turmeric. I could say that. And with turmeric, you always have to use a pinch of black pepper because it enhances the activity of turmeric by 2,000%. Right, Catherine? So, and turmeric is fat soluble. So adding avocado or any form of oil into when you use your turmeric, it would help absorption better inside the body and to do its own job. Actually, turmeric showed in the studies that when the cancer cell multiplies, they have these pathways, the little tubes between cancer cells. So turmeric actually shown breaking that tube, not allowing cancer cells to spread, to multiply. So it's very strong anti-inflammatory food, and I use it like I said, almost everywhere. So the smoothie that I posted on is basically based kale, the broccoli sprouts. We all know the power of broccoli sprouts because of it contains sulfur, sulfur-containing compounds. And then I had arugula in it. I'm trying to remember what I put in there. So I had arugula in it. Yeah, I had one green apple because a lot of people wanted some sweet. I personally don't put green apple. I might put half of it. I put more lemon in it, but for people, I just added one green apple. And you can skip that. I have a turmeric root, a fresh root. I had black pepper. I had flaxseed. Flaxseed is anti-cancer, number one. And number two, it's source of fat also to break down turmeric. It does contain omega fatty acids, so that's another. So, or you can add a half of an avocado, either or. And had ginger, I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta look it up. So those are the compounds.
And you put coconut water in it. You
put in some coconut water, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I put coconut water in it because coconut water does have tons of minerals. I always, because I make my own yogurt from fresh coconuts, young coconuts, so I do have a coconut water. If you don't, you can buy store-bought coconut yogurt, but not yogurt, the water, but make sure does not contain any sugar or any other preservative, just a pure coconut water. Yeah, it's high in electrolytes, that smoothie, and like a lot of nutrients in that smoothie, and protein from the flaxseed. It's a very strong smoothie. I share. It's one of my recipes that when I work with my clients, it's one of my recipes that I usually recommend them to buy. And I just want to share very quickly my breakfast for those who would be interested. Like, I personally love chia bowls. Not every morning, a few times a week, I do make my chia bowls. What I do, I soak my chias in the almond milk, and then I add sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, walnuts to that. I add a little bit goji berries to my chia bowl, and I let it sit for about half an hour to an hour, and then I add my frozen berries. I like my chia bowl with frozen berries, but you don't have to do a frozen berries. So I mix it with the frozen berries, and I make it this frozen chia bowl. It's like a dessert. So that's basically, because we have 107 degrees in Austin now, and having a cool, like a frozen ball in the morning is actually very refreshing. So that's what basically, so my breakfast has mix of organic frozen berries, great source of antioxidant. I have proteins there in form of nuts and, and seeds. And I have source of fat from nuts. So it's a great breakfast. It lasts usually 4 to 5 hours. So just want to share that. And it does have a good source of fiber and everything to support my digestive system.
And And also, when you're eating something like this that is whole, that is all nutrient-based, you're not going to get the sugar highs and lows. You're not going to get those peaks and lows. And because you're not going to get the peak and that low, you're not going to feel hungry. It comes up, and then the gradient stays steady across, which is why you're not going to be hungry. So having a good nutritive-filled breakfast really makes a difference in your day. I did notice, though, that, Jay, that you asked me about capsules. And the thing is that turmeric comes in different strengths as well. And so the quality of the turmeric is important, but you have to make sure that you're getting a good grade of turmeric if you're going to take capsules, because they're not cheap. So make sure what you're doing is at least good for you. All right.
I just want to say, sorry. Do you really need turmeric capsules? Like if you have inflammation, if you're sick or you're running a fever or you have a pain, yes, you might need to take an extra turmeric pills. Like when I had my knee injured from skiing, so turmeric was my painkiller basically, because I don't take any medications, and turmeric was my painkillers. I was taking 2 capsules every 2 hours, and that was releasing the pain and inflammation. It did a great job. And my doctor was surprised like how fast like my meniscus had healed. It was just he told me about 3 weeks. I was like back on my feet within a week basically. It does a great job. But do you need it on a daily basis to take it? Personally, I don't think so. You can get it from food. You can get it in the form of powder. I mean, the turmeric powder, adding to your broth, to your soups, and everything. So that's what I could say.
Great. Now I have Sandy online here, who has a few comments that she would like to share. So Sandy, do you have? I think you're unmuted. Yeah. So please share.
Thank you, Catherine. So the 2 items that I would like to share with the group are not food related, but they do impact the microbiome. And the first one would be parasite cleansing. When our immune system is compromised, these little boogers can wreak havoc on the body. And some of the things that can help with that are pumpkin seeds and hot peppers. And I know some people are sensitive to that, but that's one of the items that can help. Also, herb remedies are all used as treatments. And then the other thing that I wanted to share, which is really beneficial, I've personally done this, and it's been super helpful, and that is fasting. I've done a 5-day fast, and that's typically when you see a lot of the changes in your body, because since your body isn't focusing on digesting the food, then it starts to work in other areas, and it starts to repair your body. And one of those items is your intestines, your gut biome, and it starts to do that. It allows our body to totally reset by turning over new cells at a much faster rate than when we're eating and digesting. So those are some of the 2 things that I kind of wanted to share that I have found that have been really helpful with the gut as well.
Yeah,
you
said
some magic word there, fasting. Yes, and yes, and I can't even begin to tell you how important it is for us to take a look at, while you're sleeping, a lot of that absorption and that's how your lymphatic system manages to create balance in our body, and through the microbiome, working with it and stabilizing, and homeostasis occurs mostly at night. And so, when it comes to fasting, it's important. I do not eat after 7 o'clock at night, unless I'm having a party with family or something like that. But normally, I don't eat after 7 o'clock at night, and I don't usually have breakfast till about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's at least 9 or 10. Now, different people will have different hours for what's best for them. Don't go by just me, because it is good to fast for at least 8 to 12 hours if you can. And not everybody fasts every day. And some people will take and just fast for 1 day or for 2 days altogether. But when it comes to clearing your gut, and especially it's really important that absorption is better when you have that period of fast, because then that way your the absorption in the large intestine and the small intestine has that time to properly break down your food, especially if you've chewed your food well. And not only that, but just think of it this way. If you are eating a healthy diet to start with, your microbiome is going to be more balanced. And so it is really important to really take the time to chew your food and to eat healthy foods. You know, one of the, I think I had to share this with you, because I had done a big talk on healthy food choices and all the different vitamins and everything for Healing Strong a couple of months ago. And one thing one of the ladies said, because I had gone on talking about how we're always rushing around with our kids, and how, you know, back in the good old days when we were a mom in the 70s, and mom, what was mom doing? She was barefoot, pregnant, in the kitchen. She was cooking home-cooked meals. We all ate as a family at the table. We took the time to slowly chew our food. We couldn't even leave the table until Dad was finished his meal. And, you know, we said grace, and we were a family together. But Mom made sure we were taking our time, and that we were talking in between, and hopefully not choking on our food. But most certainly, these are the little things that we did, and slowing down that process of properly eating your food. And this lady that heard me say this, she goes, Catherine, you'll never. And I bought myself a dining room table, and now we're eating. Guess what? I eat 2 meals a week at the dining room table, and just little. However, she wanted to start making change for her family, because she was like running around with the kids all over. That mindset of slowing down and taking the time and starting with just a couple of home cooked meals during the week. And sometimes we cause ourselves so much stress, and food shouldn't, and meal preparation shouldn't be stressful. And so when we can take the time to slow down, and maybe on the weekends prepare your meals in advance. But the difficult thing is we can't always do that. And especially today when we're running around, and we do, you know, the Boston pizzas and the McDonald's and Wendy's and fish and chips and all pizza, all the stuff. I know reality is that's what's happening today. So if we can try to have 2 to 3 healthy meals a week. This starts with prevention. Cancer, okay, we've got it. And now we have to focus on preventing recurrence, which is why all of us, like those with cancer that are on our program, that's why it's important that eating healthy, de-stressing, stress management is critical, relaxation techniques, all these little things are properly hydrating, exercise, getting those happy hormones going and feeling good about who we are and what we're doing. But the important thing is all these changes have to be incremental. Although if I had stage 4 cancer, I'd dive right into that Gerson diet. I'd be going crazy. But overall, it starts with prevention. Let's put the horse before the cart. If you have cancer in your family, you should be sharing this news with your family that we need to be eating together. We need to be eating healthy together. And we need to start making these subtle changes. And the moment I started eating healthy and going crazy, my kids were going, oh, God, Mother, really? And my children, it's like, oh, Mom, again. And so, it had to be slow. You have to take your time. And now they don't even think a thing of it. In fact, they themselves are eating healthy. It's a scary thought. Somehow along the line, over the 10, 20 years, it started to sink in. But we have to start early. And if we have families, to get them going and to eating properly. But more than anything, for each one of us who come here with cancer, adaptive, less stress, but changes can be incremental. And this is why you need a cancer coach, because that coach will help set the pace for you and help you gear what is right for you. And actually, she's going to lead you to help you help yourself. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to help you guide based on the foods you like and the things you do to slowly make adaptive health changes, not only diet, but your health overall, and some of the practices you can implement to enrich your life. But de-stressing and properly eating starts at home. And I don't know what else I can say. Just a minute. I'm thinking, is there...
Can I add something very quick? Yeah. So yes. The one more thing is like the medications do destroy microbiome. Chemotherapy wipes out microbiome completely. For those who went through chemotherapy, and I was one of them, restoring your microbiome is very important to go back and put your body back into that phase of becoming healthier and staying healthy. So sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not easy. So working with someone who really can guide you to rebuild your to rebuild the microbiome is very important.
That's absolutely a great point, because there's so much that a lot of people do that does destroy the microbiome. And to touch on what Catherine was saying, most people, when they kind of discover the concept of holistic health and wellness and realize, oh wait, I could do this a little better and I could do this a little better, most people do make those incremental changes. And that's of course okay, and that's what's reasonably expected, because not everyone has the luxury of being able to just snap and flip and change every single way that they do everything in their life. But it is important to remember, as we are learning about holistic health and wellness, as we are trying to take steps in a particular direction to go in the direction of caring for our bodies in a natural way, it's important to remember that some decisions that we might still be making, we got to be aware that they might be pulling us in that other direction. So, like, for example, you could be taking all these wonderful foods that are caring for your gut biome, and you're trying to, maintain a healthy balance there, but you go to the doctor because you're not feeling well, and they give you an oral antibiotic, and there it all goes down the drain. And so, we got to remember everything works in totality. There is no, I'm taking this, so I'm good in this regard. No, everything is the sum of all of your choices.
Yeah, very good point, Zach. Very good point. Because I have worked with clients like rebuilding microbiome. When people don't know what they're doing, they just read online on Google, do research, and they go and buy probiotics or whatever. They want to rebuild their enzyme microbiome. So when the body is dominant in Candida or any other not good bacteria, then you're basically going to be feeding Candida more than rebuilding your microbiome. You're going to be feeding other bad bacteria, yeast or Candida or all of those things more, because there's not only one form of yeast, there's tons of them. So you're going to be feeding them before you're going to feed your microbiome, the good bacteria. That's why a lot of people do have a hard time rebuilding their digestive system. They make it worse instead of getting better. So it's learning about it is very important, not just jumping out there on your own without having a lot of knowledge, what this microbiome is about, what your digestive is all about, what do you have to do, what do you have to eliminate. I have clients that we had to go on a cooked food, for example. They cannot tolerate the raw food. The cooked food works a little better for them. Some people cannot, like I have a client who cannot tolerate the black pepper. So even though if I would suggest them to take turmeric for the inflammation, but they cannot tolerate black pepper. There's a lot of things that people have to learn about their own body to bring it back to a balance. Cayenne pepper is a great, great thing for the digestive system. It actually heals ulcers. People are afraid of cayenne pepper, saying they cannot tolerate it, but it's a great thing to add to the food. Cabbage is another one. It actually heals ulcers. But a lot of people think they cannot tolerate cabbage or cayenne pepper. It's not that they cannot tolerate. It's something else that's causing them a problem. So understanding the food and what exactly people are putting in their body is very important.
Yeah.
Does anyone have questions?
No questions. I think we did explain very well. People don't have any questions.
Oh my God, yeah, you ladies. Anytime I would think to bring something up, you guys were on it and covered it very well. That was great. I just want to give a quick mention. I'm not sure who exactly the crowd is that we have on this call tonight, but as anyone can see in my username, I'm Zach. I'm working with Beat Cancer currently, and I'm kind of a coaching liaison. I'm here to help new coaches or existing coaches with their business and kind of to get up and running. So if anyone does have any questions and is interested in becoming a coach, please do send me an email to the email that you see on your screen here, and I'll be more than happy to get you the information you need or kind of help you along and maybe decide if or help you decide if being a cancer coach is the route that you want to go. So I give a quick mention.
Could you put your name in chat just for their email and your name and email in chat?
Absolutely.
Sometimes just having to wave our mouse over it's easier to see it in chat. So thanks, Zach.
Great point. Thank you very much.
Do we have any questions or someone who would like to contribute to some of the things you do to help your microbiome?
I'll give a quick note. Because it's not just our gut, right, that has a little microbiome. All, the assorted areas and organs of our body have microbiomes. And even though there's kind of a war on bacteria, everyone thinks bacteria is some, evil thing, we need it. All of the systems of our body absolutely need bacteria. There's certain bacteria that we need in our mouth for proper, salivation and breaking down of the food there. Under our armpits has certain bacteria. Something that I do that's very useful in the world of natural deodorants. Most off-the-shelf deodorants are full of harmful chemicals, aluminum, etc. But if you're like myself and have explored the world of natural deodorants, you'll find that a lot of them don't necessarily work as much as you'd like them to. But I've found a couple that have probiotics in them, the deodorant themselves, and I find those work very well because, what's the smell coming from? The smell is coming from, certain bacteria under your armpits. So how can you combat that effectively with good bacteria? So there's all sorts of applications in the body for having a proper microbiome balance, and that's just another one, little fun fact.
Yeah, that's a good one too. And also our skin. Our skin has a lot of probiotics, the bacteria that actually protects our skin for the things not to go inside the body. Because our skin is the largest organ of our body, and it does have a probiotics, right? It does have a bacteria, not probiotics. So if we have a cut or scratch anything, those bacteria on the surface, our skin that comes into the work and start protecting and blocking anything from outside to go inside. And our body from inside does its own job, coming to the spot of the wound and start protecting our body. Its intelligence of our body is beyond our imagination, beyond. And if you truly I always tell people, have a respect for your body. Your body is your baby, and you don't want to harm your baby. Take care of your body as your baby, because it's this is something that is, this is the only one thing you have in your life. that belongs to you, basically, right? It's your body. Yeah.
And that's why you want to be careful with all your different areas of the body to not do things that kill bacteria. Like you just mentioned, the skin. How many people go out and they, sanitize their hands or their skin with alcohol or other, chemicals that, you might be killing the bad bacteria that are on your skin, but you're also destroying the good bacteria on your skin that's meant to be there to protect you. So.
Yeah. And sunscreen, another one of those things. Good point saying that. Sunscreen is another one. Do you really have to use the sunscreen? I personally don't use, and I never used it. And I never get burned. You have to know your time when you go into the sun. Sun is the greatest thing that's given to us by nature. We need sun. Our skin needs sun. Protecting ourselves from something that we need, I would say it's nonsense and insane. So be cautious when you put if you want to put something on your skin, put coconut oil, put something like olive oil. You're going to get more benefits from it, and you're going to protect. They do have their own SPF if you end up being during the hot day in the summer, but avoid being in the middle of the day and under the sun. The morning sun is great for our body. We need it. The sunset is great for our body. We needed that, and for our skin. And this is actually through the skin we get vitamin D into our body. Because the neurotransmitter from the skin sends it, and retina from the eye sends the signal to our brain that we're receiving a vitamin D, and the body starts, methylating vitamin D. So
exactly.
It's really important.
We're meant to be receiving the sun. It's the ultimate giver of life. But, it gets a bad rap, one, because of, societal conditioning, but two, people aren't used to the sun. So there's a lot of factors going on here. People aren't used to the sun. Their skin isn't conditioned. It isn't used to, absorbing it, and it's not necessarily ready. Now, what do people do? They, stay inside, and then they'll have a beach day, and then they're in the sun for 8 hours, and they'll wonder why maybe they got burnt.
Right.
Well, you can't just, go into the gym and lift 800 pounds. You got to if you're not used to that sun, you got to ease your way into it. You got to work your way up. Another contributing factor is, the sun is very powerful, and our body, if we're putting toxins in it from our assorted, food and other, maybe skincare product choices, our skin will then have toxins in it. And that sun is going to interact with those toxins in our skin, and that's going to cause a burning sensation. So there's a lot of factors that people don't realize go into play when they go in the sun and they end up feeling burnt. It's not the sun's fault. Maybe you're just not going about it the right way.
Yeah. It's not the sun causing cancer, skin cancer. It's actually the product and environmental toxicity that's causing cancer.
Yeah.
And it's not it's not the sun. People didn't have skin cancer before all this commercial products like skincare start coming to the market. As much, not as much as now. But be cautious what you put on your skin, on your body, in and out. It doesn't really matter, inside or outside of your body. Be cautious. Yeah.
Oh. Any other questions? Any other comments?
No. I guess it was a presentation, yeah.
Pretty quiet crowd tonight. Okay, but you know what? That's all right. Just to summarize, overall, we do know, number one, that roughage and a good, healthy, balanced diet, fruit, vegetables, eating the rainbow, the balance and the richness is critical. Water, yes. Pre and probiotics, particularly like that apple you mentioned, Maya. Yes, and yes to many of the things that you put into your juicing. Because and watch for her if you ever get linked into Maya there. Maya, you should put the name of your company there, because I really think it's interesting to see some of the shapes that you get on the that they can link and like your site so they can see when you share all your juicing
Yeah, it's on my Instagram. Yeah, most of them are my Instagram. That's where I put my stuff. But I'll put the...
With your Instagram, yeah. That's right. This is just... I really feel that some of the things we need to be so conscious of is eating first and being so aware of listening to our body. When you take the time to listen, and when there's something not right, that's when you give someone a call. That's when you tap into some of the coaches here at beatcancer.org and say, I'm experiencing this, what do you suggest? And trust me, we'll get in there and we'll help you. And that's what we're here for. We want to help make a difference.
Sorry.
Oh, yes, we do. Okay, I'm going to unmute you. Yes, I see a hand up. Well, I can't. Evelyn, oh, there you go. Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can.
How are you? How's everyone? I'm sorry. This is Yvonne, and there's so much great information. And the earlier part, I was thinking regarding the cancer coaches. I am an insurance agent, and I offer AFLAC. And AFLAC, when it comes to cancer, is exceptional. So I just, people don't always remember what they have and how they can use the benefits of it. But the cancer coach services can be paid for with the AFLAC benefit because it's anything associated with your healing process, from your initial diagnosis to your last treatment, anything and everything in there, AFLAC, you file a claim and AFLAC pays you. So you cannot get AFLAC unless you've been cancer-free for 5 years. But of course, this is also about prevention. So anyone, anyone who can get it really should get it because, as you mentioned now, the sun and all of these products, no one sends out an invitation and say, cancer, come to me, So
Right.
It can happen to anyone, anytime, at any age. Even infants are born and diagnosed with cancer. So, I love AFLAC. I literally became a licensed insurance agent because I was an AFLAC policy holder, and I would tell people about it for like 2 or 3 years, and I was like, excuse me, hey, you, go get licensed, So now you can tell people, and you can sign them up, but I just share good information. That's what I do, and it took me a minute to figure out. Go ahead.
That's fantastic, because you know what? I can't believe how many companies do not cover cancer coaches. And like I'm going, as a profession, as a registered nurse and a cancer coach, I really feel that this is something that we need to be looking at. When we're already talking about trying to support our medical team and be and working with them, the insurance side of it, it really is important, and it would be so much nicer to see that there's a little bit of uptake and support on that side, because there's so much we offer patients with cancer, and it's not just while they're in care, it's after care, so that people get insurance, and also working with their families on prevention so that they don't get cancer, so that they're keeping themselves optimal in their health. And yes, I would love to see an uptake in the insurance industry supporting the learning of cancer and supporting proper nutrition and guidance, and so that, and not just nutrition, but healthy, adaptive lifestyles. You know what? I was 250 pounds when I originally got cancer. I'm down to 195. It's so nice.
Congratulations.
But it's exciting. Because
and here's the other company, Catherine. So they're not insurance. No. AFLAC is. But this other one is called AmeriPlan. And if you look into AmeriPlan Health and become a part of their network, What they are, I call them the Costco's and BJ's of the healthcare industry. They are a discounted fee-for-service membership. But if B Cancer becomes part of the network, then yes, it'll be a discounted fee-for-service, but it's going to expose so many people to what it is. And here's my other little tidbit. I don't put anything on my skin that I cannot eat.
Yeah.
Because our skin is our largest.
Good for you.
So
Yeah.
I recommend people spray your clothing with the sunscreen. Spray your clothing. Spray your hat. I say if it wants to turn a hat's colors and they want to turn my shirt color, go right ahead. But don't put that stuff on your body because you have no idea. You have no idea. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And there's so many things we can do environmentally, nutritionally, physically, mentally, emotionally. And if anyone in our audience has questions or they'd like us to cover some topics, by all means, give us a call or contact Zach there. And I know Zach will get this on the list and mention it to Maya and I. And if there's something we're not comfortable with, we'll get somebody who will come in and talk about it. And that's what's so special about our program is we're here to support you. And I hope that you will tune back in with us on a weekly basis every Thursday night, 7 o'clock, Be Cancer Answers. And I think our time is pretty well up tonight. Zach, thank you for joining us. Maya, thank you for contributing. And Sandy's already off, but it sure is nice when we can get questions when people question us in chat. That's what we like to see so we can help to shape the program. And we know that you're hearing what we are, and we can reinforce different opinions. And it's the richness of what everybody brings that makes our program special. So thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. And I think we'll close at this point and have a fantastic week. And I know Carl will be back, and we'll all be back with smiles on our faces, too.
Yeah.
Happy eating, everybody, and I hope you'll pay attention to that microbiome.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Bye. Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.